How about I'll open the meeting and we'll do a roll call for quorum. In good shape.
Okay, so we have Tom Howard.
Yes.
Erica Jacobson.
Here.
Jean Case.
Here.
Marshall Jesperson is here. Joe Ali is here. And Tracy Blaze is here as the town administrator.
Alrighty. That's five voting members are here. So we have
Yep.
quorum. Excellent. All right, we'll get started. We'll start with public comment. To receive oral communications from members of the public, members of the public may address the Finance Committee for up to 3 minutes, longer with the permission of the chair. The Finance Committee will not engage in discussion on topics raised during public comment, but may choose to add the topic to a future agenda. This agenda segment will be limited to 15 minutes unless the time is extended at the discretion of the chair. There is no public here, so, and we do not have a Zoom function for tonight. So, I can
Okay.
put it there. First order of business is to review and approve the meeting minutes from March 1st, 2022. That is in the packet towards the back.
Second.
Discussion? Finance.
Just a little bit, because there was so much in the CPC stuff that then transfers over to the warrant. I put the whole minutes from the CPC meeting in as an addition to this rather than trying to do it separately.
Excellent. We'll make sure that gets posted alongside. Vote to approve.
Okay, Tom Howard,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Marshall is yes, Joe,
Yes.
Excellent. Old business, anything, any updates from CPC, anything, Marshall, that we,
I'm still waiting for one piece. I've tried to get a hold of Chief to no avail, and the only piece is that we have a question about is the Toughbook laptop for the harbor master.
okay.
But when I get some information on that, I'll let you know. Everything else is.
How much is it? Tough laptop.
$3,500, about $3,500. It's in the notes.
Yeah, it's in the notes.
That needs to come to CPC?
Yeah, it's over $1,000.
Oh, is that what it is? $1,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. And DCC update. The next meeting of the full DCC is actually here, because we've been rotating it through the 3 towns, and I believe Alicia's taking care of like reserving the space and things like that. But I, at this moment, do not remember the next date, but that's ongoing. And the alternative assessment group that I'm a part of, we have been looking, we have a very large spreadsheet and things of modeling out the past like 15 years worth of different ways of projecting it. So discussions are ongoing. The next meeting of that subgroup is on Thursday the 7th. So In new business, before we go into the town meeting warrant, we did get, today, received a reserve fund transfer from Tracy, and it is a request for a reserve fund transfer to the public buildings repairs and maintenance. And it's for the purpose of paying the unanticipated costs associated with purchasing and installing a new fire alarm control panel at the Newbury Elementary School. Do you wanna give us a little?
That's pretty much it. We weren't aware that it was in bad shape until we got the call notifying us that it had failed. It will be an emergency procurement. There is a quote attached from PAS, Progressive Alarm Services, for $41,665. They're going to be able to install it next week. They've had to have fire watches in the building since it failed, which can get pretty expensive pretty quickly, so.
24 hours a day?
I don't believe they do 24 hours a day. I believe they only do it when people are in the building.
So it's more likely to burn, we don't check it. Is that the only quote they're getting?
That's the only quote they've gotten so far, yeah. So I had met with the DPW director, and the majority of the balance in the public buildings repairs account is already committed. Majority of it is for work being done at the library. So, you know, naturally it is extraordinary, it is unforeseen, we're coming to you to request the funding for this.
What's left in reserve after we do that?
What did I tell you?
It was 118.
118
It was
left
118
right now,
in it right now, so it'll be
Yeah,
down
okay.
by, yeah.
And the Chris Walsh, originally when they had, Brian had texted me, they were thinking it would be closer to 100,000 for the repairs, so they,
Yeah,
Are they gonna get another quote?
yeah, they'll get a couple of quotes.
so yeah,
But it's
the,
whoever basically can do it the fastest, I think at this point.
Yeah, that's an emergency.
Yeah, I did confirm with council that it meets the emergency criteria.
You looking for a motion?
yeah, yes, let's do a motion and
Okay.
then,
So move.
Second?
any other discussion, Marshall?
I was just curious about how it failed. I mean, how did they discover that this
That is a good question.
is a failure?
I don't know, I just got the note that it failed. I don't know the details.
Is it like some sort of testing?
Yearly test or a?
They must test
Quarterly?
regularly.
I'm sure they test regularly, but
Yeah.
my sense was it was very obvious that it was a failure, but I didn't ask the details for that. And just so you know too, we've also been notified a couple of weeks ago that their HVAC system is on its last legs. And that's gonna be a
That's a
significant
big number,
expense.
Mhm.
Boy, I'd say.
So who's heading this up?
Who's what?
Who's heading this up? Is it the school?
The
Is
school,
it-
Chris Walsh, yeah, they have control of the buildings and the school
So
committee.
can we get something from him as to how it failed or what?
Sure.
Yeah, my quick calculations is the previous balance of the reserve fund is $118,504.18. After this transfer request, it would be at $76,504.18.
That's what I had. Good job.
Did it the long way. I didn't even use the calculator.
I didn't either.
Did you see this? It doesn't answer why it failed, but it has the details of what
Yeah,
they're,
just looking.
yeah.
Is that possibly fall under the grant? From the government? Schools?
I assume there's a reason they're not proposing that, but, I can certainly push back on that.
Well, this even uses the existing wiring infrastructure and the external devices. Imagine what that cost would have been.
I think that's why they got it down from the initial $100,000 quote. And my guess is, Tom, that they wouldn't propose that because that money is district-wide, where this building is Newbury-owned. And
But it's housing district-wide students, well, no, it's not, well, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
They're
with
bringing
the,
special needs, there's some, they're bringing students from
Yeah.
outside the city,
I'm
town
not
into.
aware of that.
They
It's
can
the-
do that, they can do that at any school.
any of the schools,
Any of the schools.
yeah, because there's also choice between the schools, is fine.
But each of the, each of the
Each
elementary
of the elementary schools
we-
is under the purview of that town, and that's what we've been working on,
Lease agreements.
the lease agreement, because Salisbury was the only one that fell. Because even though Salisbury is owned by the district, the town would still under the agreement, still pay for, extraordinary.
And I would understand if the town paying, I'm just saying if the money's out there and if it were available.
Available from where, Tom? I didn't hear you.
Where the alarm system or even possibly the air conditioning, the HV system.
I know, but available from where?
The schools ARPA funds, they
Oh,
have a
ARPA
different name.
funds. I didn't hear you.
ARPA is,
Oh.
ARPA is
It's
the
We have
not
ARPA
called
town,
funds
it's
as
called
well, but-
ESSER two.
ESSER, yeah.
ESSER is
Oh,
the school
yeah.
sets of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they're getting.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
I don't know what that's been committed to. I know that they're using it again for the same type of one time,
Yeah,
not to fund the ongoing salaries,
right.
funding testing, things like that. That's what they've been working on over there. Any other questions, discussion?
No, just going through it, it looks like they're putting a lot of all new equipment, all the enunciators, all of the liquid crystal displays.
My guess is that
And
if they're going to the new system, it may not be
That's right.
compatible with what's sitting.
They've gotta they gotta change everything. It's a new
Yeah.
system, they gotta change. I've been through
Change
this.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been through it a number of times.
If you want us to guarantee the system, then you have to take and
New
Yeah.
components.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have any questions. I just, the first one, it was a panel failure, I thought we were just gonna replace a panel or the failed units in the panel. No. All right, we have 5 members.
Five members, all in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Do we need a roll call?
I'll do it.
Or do the roll call, yep.
Yeah. So Tom?
yes.
Okay. Erica?
Yes.
Jean?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Joe?
I'm a yes.
Okay. So 5 out of 5 voting aye, no nays and no abstentions.
And Tracy has the signed one.
And you have the copy to sign?
I signed the copy, yes.
Okay.
Also, you all may notice we did not approve minutes for the March 22nd meeting. That is because the select board met at the same time and their minutes
Work.
work as our minutes, so
Yep.
we just accept those. And we put a note on the website indicating that if people are looking for minutes from that meeting, that they can go to the other part of the website. So, any other items under old business anybody has?
No.
All right, so in new business, the biggest issue in front of us tonight is a review and discussion of the warrant articles for annual town meeting on April 26th, 2022. That will be at 7 p.m. at Newbury Elementary School. It will be in the gymnasium. In keeping what we've done in past years is that we will be voting to recommend or not for all articles that have a financial implication. And what we typically do is note it as I believe the language we use is select board recommendation, they have a vote. Ours shows the same recommended. In favors first, opposed is second, and abstention is third in the numbers that go across at the bottom. We also will work with Tracy typically to provide a booklet of the warrant articles with kind of a short layman's terms explanation of where each of the articles is about. So there's a few on these that we, like Articles 1 and 2 don't require a recommendation by us. The first one would be Article 3, which is setting the salaries.
For the elections.
And these are, yes, and these are no changes from
Nope. The only change is the town clerk, which is reflective of the 3% increase.
3% increase.
Will this be a new town clerk?
Partway through the year, not
Oh, okay.
until, I believe Leslie's date is in December,
Oh,
date
okay.
of her retirement.
Okay.
So do we want to take a
Motion, you need a motion?
Do we need a motion and then,
So move.
Second?
any discussion? Ready to take a vote?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, Tom Howard.
This
Yes.
doesn't need to be roll call.
Oh, it doesn't?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
We can
okay.
do these. All in
Only on
favor?
Zoom.
Yeah,
Oh, all right,
here we go, make it easy.
thanks.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 You gotta move this along.
Opposed? Opposed, net, 0, abstained?
500.
500.
Okay.
Okay, citizens petition, Article 4, raise and appropriate, transfer or appropriate the sum of $20,000 or any other sum from free cash to fund the purchase and installation of public safety gate at the Georgetown / Larkin Road Bridge, or take any other action related thereto.
I have a question on this, and I've been unable to find the answer from the maps. But is this really in Newbury or is it in Georgetown?
I had the same question.
That's, my question around this was whether or not it's something we can do. I feel less certain about the money rather than, my recommendation would be more, my hesitation to recommend is less about the money, more about is it feasible, is it right?
What's its purpose? The road is blocked.
Yes.
Currently, the
I was-
culvert has failed.
Yes,
Is this the culvert for the Beaver, whatever it's called?
that little brook that runs into
Beaver
the
Brook or
Parker.
something?
Yeah.
Wheeler Brook?
Wheeler Brook,
maybe?
okay.
Yeah, so the culvert
Right,
that brings you from Newbury into Georgetown.
right.
Has failed. The select board back in, I believe, 2015 or 16, met with a developer who had purchased the property, was going to develop, and offered to replace the culvert for us on his dime. As part of the whole plan there were some requirements by Georgetown Planning as well. And at that time, the culvert was expected to cost a little over $250,000. The board all agreed, they supported it. It began to move forward. The developer went under, and it took, I think, 3 or 4 years to sell the subdivision plans. New developer came in, decided he was ready to move forward. The neighborhood, after having a few years, I mean, it was unfortunate the timing that it remained closed for as long as it did, but that's just the
It's
circumstances.
been over 10 years now.
No, not since it's been closed. There have
Okay.
been floods there, but not since it's been closed. I think the DPW director gave us the date, and it was 6 years. 6 years now, since it's been closed, because of it was so undermined. So, so he started moving forward. The neighborhood naturally enjoyed a dead-end street
Yes.
for the last 5 or 6 years, and wanted to remain that way. The public safety officials, both in Georgetown and Newbury, spoke against that roadway remaining closed for obvious reasons, public safety reasons. The select board in Georgetown wants it to remain open. It is a public way,
Yep.
has always been maintained as a public way. We plowed it, we repair it, and such. So, the documents have all been executed by the board. It will be reopened, the culvert work will be completed, and it will be reopened. And as of right now, the select board had committed to work with the residents and through our partners at MVPC to see if there are traffic calming measures, if there are opportunities for us to find other ways to mitigate the traffic there. So I guess being unsatisfied with that, the residents put a petition on. So this is being brought by Justin Londigan and the other members who have signed the petition. Whether or not it can happen, whether or not it will happen, this is advisory. Town meeting can't direct the board to do anything. They can appropriate funds, but they can't direct the select board. So there'll be, I'm sure town council will give some advice on town meeting floor as to whether or not, you know, it's legal, it can be done, it's appropriate, it's in order, those types of things, as she often does with citizens petitions, because they're not vetted through our offices. They just come through the residents.
It's a public way.
What is a public safety gate?
They want it to be gated off so that traffic can't pass it, but that, I
Open to
guess,
emergency
yeah,
situations.
they'll have some kind of a, I don't know if it's an electronic device where they can get it to go up if they have to, the public safety officials.
Where do they
I think
propose to put it?
20,000.
I guess on both sides of the bridge, I would assume. We don't know, we haven't seen any plans.
This is-
I was gonna say, and there's $20,000 enough to cover the cost of any of that. We don't have anything.
We don't have any
Well-
document. This is what you see here is what we have.
Would this be a shared cost with Georgetown?
No, they're petitioning Newbury.
Is that right on the border?
Yeah, well, you can see I was confused when I rode down the street because some of the houses, they have 2 numbers. They have a number on Parish Road and they have a number on Larkin. Because the front of their property is actually in Georgetown, maybe 10 feet, and then the back is in Newbury. That's how that line runs. It runs right down. I said, I've been through that road, of course, it was a long time ago.
Yep.
So, Tommy, you probably have, I don't know. And I said, oh, it stops here, okay? And then I said, well, Georgetown's on my left and Newbury's on my right, literally,
Right.
on the street. I mean, that's the road. This is Newbury, this is Georgetown. There's the road. You know the road.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I
You've
run
been-
it, bike it
You,
all the
yeah,
time.
and I thought, well, what is this all about? I mean, I first of all, well, I wouldn't. I mean, it doesn't, I mean, it's not, that's the selectmen's decision, but I think at this point, I don't know.
I would
It's a public
support
way.
spending money or approving my vote towards this. One, because public safety is
Yeah.
opposed to it. Secondly, it's a public way. It was a public way when the bridge was there. It was
Yeah.
a public way when they bought their homes.
Right.
And if you bought it after the fact that it was closed, there had to be some anticipation that at some
Yeah.
point it would be reopened.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I also go on with this fact that that $20,000 has not gone through any sort of CPC or any other vetting by our public safety or anything else as being a sum that would actually cover what that is, or any plans of what this would actually be. It's not backed up by any other proposal that we've ever seen.
We did have a meeting with the neighborhood, the public safety officials, myself, and the DPW director, and they brought a representative in from the gate company to explain how it would work. But I don't have any
Yeah.
They'll work
documents.
good until you have a snowstorm
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
and it doesn't get plowed and all of a sudden.
So I'm on,
Public
I'm on one side of the street and I have an emergency. How do I, as a private, get through?
You don't,
I don't.
no.
yeah,
So it doesn't
Yeah.
really serve, it just serves for police and fire and ambulance,
Right,
who must have
right.
right, okay, never mind. I've got enough
any other
information.
discussion?
Oh, dear.
That's like 51st Street on the island. If the left side is Newburyport and the right side is Newbury.
Yep.
On 51st Street.
Yeah. I mean, we could put a gate on Parker Street, right where the rail trail comes in, right, Tom? And I could have a dead end.
Correct.
Yeah,
I mean, right? I'm being a little facetious, but.
No.
Oh, no, only a little. Okay.
all right, vote. All in favor? Opposed? Aye.
Aye, opposed. 0, 0, 0, 5.
050.
Article 5, to see if the town will vote to limit the FY23 total operating budget to a maximum increase of 2% from the FY22 total operating budget, submitted by Jim Moran.
And that's so broad as to where do we take and reduce
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
costs?
I am a,
My feeling is some of the things we want to see happen for the people in town are not gonna happen, because they're gonna be the ones that looked at as being the quickest thing to get rid of. And there's no discussion as to where that 2%, or
Yeah.
beyond that, where it would be taken from.
Agreed.
and if we were in a financial position where we needed to limit the increase to 2%, if we did not have the tax base, the resources, available funds, we would have had to write a budget to a 2%.
Correct.
Correct,
Yeah,
like that,
the-
like if we were in a financial straits, our budget is providing for our citizens' needs. It's within our tax levy capacity and available funds, and we're not looking for an override.
Yeah, the budget as presented is within
Is-
the
is
confines of
within-
2.5. Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
Is this even a legitimate request for a town meeting?
This is,
this
curiously
is
enough,
illegal.
look
this is,
back.
this has happened
This is
before.
the second time he's presented.
I know, well, yeah, but is it, if we wanna override 2.5, it requires a townwide vote.
Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, anyway,
It's unusual and it's a little disconcerting because like Erica said,
yeah,
we're not gonna know if this passes until we're at town meeting. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to be prepared to present some kind of an alternative budget, or the moderator could say, okay, if this passes, we'll adjourn to another date specific and have to come back with another
Mhm.
budget, because, you know, you guys won't have had your eyes on the alternative budget, the select board wouldn't have an opportunity to see it. So it's a little, yeah, it's disconcerting for sure.
okay, I'm ready to vote.
So let's
All right,
move to vote.
in favor? Opposed? Aye. 050.
Yep.
Yeah.
Article 6, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $1 million from free cash to the FY '23 total operating budget, submitted by Jim Moran.
This is another one
I,
that's
is
inconsistent.
this even appropriate or legal, going from free cash to operations?
It's not fiscally responsible.
It's completely against our financial principles that we've adopted.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Also, no.
You just don't.
I think what is trying to be accomplished here, and I should speak for Mr. Moran, but I think that the group is trying to artificially, use $1 million to reduce the tax rate. I think that's what they're
That's
trying
their-
to accomplish here. You can certainly do that. A lot of towns would do it, and if we got to a point beyond our town hall and beyond our fire station and the capital things that we're gonna be addressing in the next few years, and we had a significant balance, and we had fully funded our OPEB liability, and I can keep going and going.
Yeah.
Then you might wanna talk about doing something like that, but what it does is so it would artificially reduce your rate this year, so you're gonna go home with an extra $50 in your pocket this year, or whatever the amount may
And
be.
you'll give it,
And then the next year,
$150.
you,
We're gonna go up.
pay 100, so it's kind of pay me now, pay me later.
Well,
type
and with
thing,
interest
but-
rates, he even mentioned somewhere, interest rates are going up. Well, cost of money's gonna
We're
go
gonna go
up.
up.
Absolutely.
So if you got $100,000 in the bank, more or less.
Yeah,
It's not $100,000 that you're gonna pay 30 years of an interest rate. It's just fiscally is not,
no, and we're,
Doesn't make sense,
no.
what we're trying to do from a financial perspective is saving that money.
yeah.
We do have a lot of free cash right now,
Yeah.
because
But-
we have been saving it intentionally
To
to offset the impact of the override for the town hall.
But the money
So-
you've saved
Yep,
is gonna be used for a long-term gain for the town versus a one-time,
Yeah.
one-year
Yeah,
That's
reduction,
exactly
which
right.
is just totally against fiscal good management.
Yeah.
period.
yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah.
So shall we vote on this?
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? None.
All right,
And,
Article
just-
7.
One question before we go on.
Sure.
Does anyone want to write a rationale for these things as to go in the booklet?
Tracy's,
So that's interesting that you brought that up. I looked back over the last couple of years to see how you've addressed these things, and you have provided your votes, but citizens petitions did not have a written rationale. So, now, that being said, it is your booklet, you can do whatever you want, but just for some history.
What I'm thinking is that we should have at least someone to talk to each one of these and have that preparation done in advance.
yep,
Yeah.
I would, except I'm probably not gonna be here. I don't think I'll be back.
anyone want to take Article 4?
Tom, would you do that?
Tom, you
Because
want to
you're-
take to public
I think that
safety?
would fall in your bailiwick. Okay. The next two, I would take one of them.
I'll take one of them too, so you
Take
pick.
your pick. All right, why don't I take Article 6?
Okay.
I know this one that Erica wanted.
I will take Article 5.
You should have spoke up.
Oh,
It's all good.
And so there's plenty of time if you want to include a written rationale.
Okay. Yep,
To get it in the book.
great.
When does the book get finalized?
Yeah, that's,
Really, once you get those off to me, I'll kick it back to you for your review. Just if there's any typos, you catch anything wrong, and then we can start printing it and putting it around town. We usually do it about a week ahead of time. We did it sooner before, and they all disappeared, but nobody came to town meeting, so we try to keep it relatively close to town meeting, and we do bring some with us as well to hand out.
Okay.
And they're always available on the website, people can print them out, or they can come to
There.
town hall and ask for us to print them out.
right.
Okay.
So going to Article 7, the appropriations, so the total budget for the town, 22,448,388. Recommendation,
So move.
Second.
vote to approve.
Aye,
Aye. Oppose?
and no
0,
abstentions.
0. Alright. Article 8, stabilization. Moving 125,000 to stabilization fund.
Where's this 125 coming from?
The tax rate,
Tax, okay.
raise and appropriate.
And what does that
Okay.
give us in there?
Right now, I think we have 551,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And no abstentions, okay? Oh, 200,000 this year, that's twice what we did
That
last
is,
year.
yes?
No?
Woo-hoo.
Okay,
Chipping
make a
away.
motion,
So move. Second. I mean,
second.
you made.
I made the motion, you
Yeah,
get
second.
second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And no abstentions, okay?
PEG, Article 10, PEG transfer, again, this is special revenue fund revolving. So,
Yeah.
Make a
Sounds
motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Opposed? Abstentions, none, okay?
Article 11, revolving funds in accordance with, for recreation revolving and municipal waterways.
Yes, that's about what we do every year.
Yep,
Yes,
Same, yeah.
same,
Yeah.
yeah, there.
So move.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
opposed? No abstentions, okay? Ambulance Enterprise Fund, again, they literally raise the money, they spend the money.
Yep,
Yeah, what a great program.
So, yeah.
working well.
Make a motion,
Second.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
No, opposed? No abstentions, good, okay.
Second favorite thing to the transfer station.
Okay,
Article 13, recommend, see if the town will vote to transfer from available funds the sum of 40,000 for cardiac monitor.
Now, will that come out of their operating, out of the
Yes,
ambulance enterprise?
Yes.
It's coming out of their,
ambulance enterprise.
that's what I
Yep.
thought.
Yep.
Is there any money?
Where's Larry when we need him?
I know. What call and tell them this.
They've been really good lately about applying they just got some for defibrillators, and so they've been
Yeah, I
really
just
working
think that
hard
with
at
the
taking
pandemic and
advantage.
the amount of death related to that it would fall into something that they may jump
Absolutely,
at.
and what
Yeah.
we've done, just so you know, in the past as well, is if something like this falls on town meeting, that doesn't mean we don't apply for the grants. A lot of times, what you'll see is, a subsequent town meeting transferring a balance.
Oh,
Like to our
because-
savings account because we got a grant or we were
Yep.
successful. The
We've done that with
department
fire
heads have been.
apparatus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Tom,
yeah.
did you think ARP on this? Is that what you were thinking, or
That's what I'm
just,
thinking.
yeah?
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, by any
Yeah,
Right.
means,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm
no,
saying if we can
absolutely,
You
yep,
can do that in,
We can do that retro.
yep,
as
sure,
well.
I'll ask the chief specifically if he has, but.
speaking of that, what in the world was going on today? At around 3:30, 4 o'clock. There were like fire trucks, and police are going by my house, I don't know, no?
I don't know.
I figured you'd know, you're right behind them.
I was on a conference call.
Oh.
No idea. I had the noise
Maybe
canceling
they
headphones in.
State-
Okay.
Oh, Anyway, sorry about that.
Outstanding bill from last year.
Oh, so wait a minute, recommendation on
Oh, yes.
13.
Make a
Okay.
motion? Or do we already do that?
We
We
did
did.
500.
500, okay. All right.
14.
14,
Make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 500.
Linda's not here, so she doesn't leave use. Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, exactly, it is.
That
it's
must be
hers.
security.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, it is.
15, the sum of, transfer from available funds, the sum of 45,000 for police department archives / squad room, and this is to finish a project.
This is the, down the
Recommendation.
basement, right?
No, attic.
Third floor,
Attic.
attic.
Third floor, right. Archive.
Yep.
I actually think a lot of work was done pro bono or something.
Yeah,
Yes.
already Commerce Corp
Yeah.
did a lot of the framing for us.
So, motion to recommend?
So move.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No abstentions, 500.
Another good one coming up.
Transfer from available funds, Article 16, the sum of 22,000 to purchase solar-powered speed / crosswalk signs.
So wrap them all together. Okay.
Make a motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
All right?
Aye.
Okay.
Article 17, transfer from available funds, sum of 100,000 to make repairs to the Newbury Elementary
So
School roof.
moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Year 3 of 5.
Opposed?
Yep.
Yep.
And then Article 18, available funds of 241,000 to purchase a dump truck.
Did we even get one?
That blows my mind, 241,000.
That's a good question. Can we
What'd you
even
say?
get one?
I just
Because,
talked to somebody from Mack. He can sell 4 more trucks this year, and he can't sell another truck for 2 years because they can't get chassis.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, can they even buy one of these
we're
things?
trying to get it in as quickly as possible, but there's a question as to whether or not it will be more than a year before we even see it.
They're talking 2 years.
Yep, yep.
He can only sell 4 more trucks.
We're having problems with cruisers. We're having problems with trucks.
It's just a question, what are they buying? Do they, is it Mack or is it
Sterling?
Peterbilt?
I,
Isn't that awful? I don't have
You know
my
what?
CPC
I don't
stuff.
have
I'll
it.
look at it.
Peterbilt.
Or maybe it's replacing Sterling.
I just don't know that they could get
it is a Mac that they're looking at. It was quoted.
You're right, I can remember seeing the symbol, yeah.
Yeah,
But getting it, yeah.
getting it is gonna be,
And you have 241,000 with the plow, with the sand.
I know, it just
all
blows
the-
my mind.
But
That's at today's price.
Yeah,
Say, what's it
Yes.
in 2 years?
yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, it's
that's
replacing
a
a
good
Sterling.
question.
Well, that's what we have. There's other funds available for capital expenditures.
Right,
Did somebody-
make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed? 500. It's, yeah, it's tough because we got the same thing. We celebrate when we get some cars in. Oh, look, the lot's not bare.
Article 19, vote to transfer from available funds the sum of 2 million.
0.5 million.
2.5 million, lots of zeros there, or any other sum to the town hall project. So, motion,
Make a motion.
Second.
Those in
Any
favor?
discussion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 500. This one is going to require some, I know that we're going to come up against people who say, well, how come it's the town hall project account and not the, Council on Aging project account or the firehouse project account? And so,
Yeah.
We did have a discussion with town council regarding that issue, because it's a red herring,
Yeah.
type of issue. But basically, she said, the importance of having your town accountant attend town meeting is so that it's very clear to her what the intent is, or him, what the intent is of the voters, that they have a clear understanding of what they're voting on. So she went back and she cataloged every vote that has been taken to be added into that account. And the actual language has changed. It was a public safety building, it was a police station / town hall, it was, and now I think it's, every vote that's been taken in the last 2 years has been the town hall project. But her words, not mine, she was very confident that everybody in the hall was very clear on what the plan was.
I think it's when somebody says something different than that, and everything's going fine, so one of us mentioned that, it's a fund that may not go towards that, and then all of a sudden everybody starts screaming, so I think that
Remember?
unsaid is better off than being
Right. And
too much
clear,
explanation.
I think maybe it would satisfy people to understand that nothing can be spent from,
Exactly.
Yeah.
the money in those accounts can only be spent for planning this building. And when we go to do the actual
Planning of the
project,
building.
it's
it-
gonna have the borrowing language, it's gonna specifically say it's coming from this account. We can use a number, we can use the account
Supermajority too?
number.
A dollar's not coming out of
Is it
those.
supermajority for that vote?
Majority.
This one's.
Oh, for the borrowing or
Yeah,
for this
for the,
one?
yeah.
No, this one.
The borrowing
This
is
is simple
2/3.
majority,
This is
Simple
simple
majority.
but it's gonna
majority.
take 2/3 to
2/3
use
to
it.
use it.
Right,
Yeah,
Right,
that's all,
right.
so
Right.
it's still in the town meeting control,
absolutely,
So-
absolutely.
That also begs another objection I have heard raised to this, is that during one of the town meeting votes for the police station,
Mhm.
it was, the town meeting language was police station and improvements to town hall. People feel like they already voted for the 6.5 million. And why isn't that enough? We already voted it, we didn't get it.
So that's correct.
That's
That-
correct,
that's what it
because
was
that-
with the 6.5.
Because that 6.5 million.
And then the subsequent
Wait.
town meeting, we had to go back for additional funding, and it was made abundantly clear that this additional funding plus the 6.5 was
Only
only
the police
funding the
station.
police station.
Got
So
and that.
you have to go to
right.
all the town meetings.
Right,
to put
and
the
all,
pieces
and the
together.
town hall
Sure.
is not,
Yes.
What it is.
the town hall is not in a position to be opened up tomorrow
Oh, no.
and occupied
No.
by any of the town branches of government, any of the council on aging, fire,
Yep.
town offices. It's not, it wasn't, I mean, I think something that some people have also forgotten is that when the town, because one of the other arguments I've heard is that the police were fine there while the other building was being built. But prior to that, they were also supplemented with trailers.
Well, they were in the
They were in the
basement, and
basement.
they were in 5 office
Yes.
trailers around the town hall.
Right,
And that was all of the offices,
Yes.
including the PD. And we left
then they
downstairs,
Stairs.
because the
Couldn't-
Mass State Board of Health was in
could
there.
down there, they moved
They moved
upstairs
upstairs,
temporarily.
And we moved out.
So
So,
once you abandon the building, which has basically been for over a year,
mhm.
does that put in new restrictions that the codes have to be now upgraded before you can occupy it again anyways?
I
That's a
think
very good question,
Uh,
but I think
that
that's
one-
only for
the
construction.
building has not been abandoned,
It hasn't been, right, and we are
but
insuring
it
it.
hasn't been occupied.
Right.
Yeah, or I'll go with the occupied, but being unoccupied for a year, does that now bring it down to codes that it has to be brought up to before it can be occupied again?
I don't know the answer to that, but I do know if we are going to move forward with renovating, repairing, or something along those lines, once you get to 50% of the value, it has to be brought up to all
Yeah.
of today's current
Right.
rates.
I can't
And that
believe the
is-
fire did not have some intake that has nothing in it for a system that
Right.
would allow you to go back in there without some type of
Right,
Fire suppression.
Yeah, there's,
Right.
yeah.
even monitoring. I don't think there's anything in that building.
no.
Oh, okay.
So, this, I believe that concludes all of our we do not weigh in on bylaws.
Wouldn't, well, we could.
We could, but we,
What about the
I
Article
would-
20, the Triton does
I
have
would,
a
I would
financial-
weigh in, I would recommend we weigh in on that because
The
that's
Triton one?
that's a
Yeah.
fiscally good thing to do. For
oh
Triton
yes,
to do.
And
the,
it's consistent with,
It's
with
consistent
our
with what we
policies.
do.
yes, oh, it's absolutely, yes.
I would make
That
a
is,
motion
which one's that?
that we
20.
approve Article 20.
Article 20, yes, yep,
Motion second, all those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 500.
Yep. Absolutely, that is the first step. And then the
Last two are bylaw.
last two are all
Are
bylaw.
they all
They
by
are all bylaw.
Tracy, what's the status of the bathroom on the island?
We received our building permit today.
Oh.
And seeing how it's gonna rain for the next 3 days, you may see some action over there. We're gonna be doing some demolition and some training.
Those rocks are still there.
I'll,
Excellent.
I'll tell you what, we're having a problem with those, getting the trades, the electricians and plumbers.
Oh, yeah.
We
Oh.
cannot even get people to quote us. It's insane. We put out, I think James said he put out 13 requests for bids
Mhm.
to get 3 back. And what, for painting. And it's tough right now to get people to do it.
We put out an urgent care project to bid. We started with 14 vendors.
Right? 2 bids.
We're down to 2.
Yeah, see,
That's,
I was
it's,
surprised at how many, few students we have going to Whittier, given the
14.
whole trade thing.
oh, I know it, I
yeah.
know it.
Last order of business is to discuss the content for the finance committee presentation and presenting. In past years, Marshall, I don't think we did not do one last year due to brevity.
Right.
Right.
Well, we can go back another year, we can do, you know, quite frankly, I piggybacked on your
Yeah,
ideas, so we can put that together. If you want to put together a presentation, we can do that using the pie charts and graphs
yep,
in a few of those.
And then what
just
we-
update.
update with the content and then maybe speak to a couple of the, I think the other part that we might want to speak to or have the select board speak to more because it's in their purview is to talk a little bit about ARPA monies, because one of the things that we don't have as many things on our warrant, you don't see us spending out of pocket for as much, is because we have used the available funds, and I think that would be, since they've been the purview of that, they've been the ones in charge of that, it would be great for Alicia or someone on the select board to speak to how we're using that, and the fact that it's not like the federal government gave us $2 million of cash to spend on anything we want. It's,
You know, a point to
and
be
that's a
made,
big part.
the language is supplement, not supplant.
Correct.
You cannot supplant,
That's
because
correct.
some people,
Yeah.
part of, I think, the rationale in one of those requests was, oh, we got all this art money, you know, we can, but
Right.
Good point, very
And
good
that's,
point.
that's
But
the
it's
thing, is that
really-
it's
it's
really
really-
to,
you can't.
Right.
I mean, you'd be giving it back.
Right,
Right. So
very
that's,
good point.
but, yeah, Marshall, if you have even the one from 2020,
I'm sure that we can
you've
scare
got
it
it, we
up.
can scare it up, yep. Because I can update it and then we
Yep.
can draft
Okay.
back and forth and make sure it matches up with rationales that are in
It
the
might be
booklet.
19.
Hmm?
It might be 19.
Oh, it might be 19.
That's right, it would have been 19, because
No,
20,
we didn't do one.
We
we
didn't,
didn't do one. We had one ready to go, but we didn't do it,
Perfect,
so.
change the date.
Question, Tracy.
yes,
You drive onto the island and as you make the left, you get to the beach, you make the left. That parking lot there on the left-hand side.
correct,
That's owned by
Dave Williamson.
privately owned.
Right.
Yes.
Airport. So the last 3 years, 2-3 years, we've been up here full-time, and the amount of traffic coming on the island going to the beach is up X amount. Can we, and this is, I'm just trying to think outside the box, I've noticed that as you come over the bridge, right on the right-hand side there,
Yep,
come over the bridge right on the right-hand side,
Old Point.
people are actually,
No, going to
It's
the
it's
refuge.
the old ramp to the old.
Oh, you're talking about going to the refuge.
no,
No.
No, the other
coming
side.
over the bridge,
Oh, right
right
there.
over the bridge, right
Oh,
there,
underneath.
Okay.
almost
is
underneath.
now
People are
outflow
parking.
parking
Yep,
along with Sunset.
yep,
And Sunset goes all the way down, because I think there's a time restriction. You can only park for a certain amount of time
there is, yep,
on would be the north side of that sign.
yep.
Can we,
We're actually working, that's what kind of is everything, we're actually working with the refuge to come up with some way to have signage before you even come onto the island, like as you're turning onto Rolfs Lane, saying whether or not the lots are full, putting it more on their website, connecting it with our website so people can look to see before they make the trip out
can
here.
we charge for parking?
Well, we did have a proposal back
Oh,
in
God, yeah.
2014, 13, to do that, and it was not well received, but we can certainly bring it up again, because some of the projections were pretty significant.
You told Jim that his property taxes were gonna go down, or any of my neighbors.
Yep,
And don't forget now with Sunset, that other side, the
Old
north
Point.
side now,
right, right,
up there, that's gonna be parked all the way down to past where those buildings are,
for sure,
where the houses are.
for sure.
So
Yep,
why not?
right,
So
'Cause
I
right
can't-
now, is that
I can't see
resident-
less
I
people
agree.
coming to the beach this year than last year.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna see more.
right. Yeah, the proposal was to put kiosks similar to what you see in Newburyport.
Those are-
And people who have the resident parking sticker can park anywhere and don't have to pay the kiosk. The officers would see the sticker, but visitors would have to pay, and the projections, I'd have to pull it out to double check, but I wanna say they were somewhere around 160,000 seats
That's not,
in
that's
the
not
year.
That
You know.
is,
BS money, yeah.
I would love to see that. I think that we need to kind of lean into the fact that what we have,
Mhm.
people are using it, and the bathrooms, I am thrilled to see them coming. I love having that area of Plum Island. It's one of our best things that makes us a great community, is that we do have this great asset, and if we are able to turn it into something that then is self-supporting and we can have it look a little bit better than a bunch of porta potties in a parking lot I think is a huge step forward. And
And the idea
if
would be
the
the
idea that
revenues
the
generated
revenues
would
would
support
support-
bringing back
And then
lifeguards.
the good old police,
Yeah.
policemen patrolling that,
Yep.
the increase in revenues from the ticket dollars.
Right.
They do a good job
Yeah.
at the little lot there at at the center.
Depends on who you talk
Oh, they do.
I've seen them out there. I definitely have seen them out there. And the bike rack that was added back in last year makes it
Speeds,
easier,
yeah.
and it makes
Yeah.
it a way to, so that you can not have to bring a car onto the island. If you have drop off your family, someone can come back on a bike. And
We have 2 private citizens up by us. I'm on 49th, so that would be
Okay.
51st. She is actually renting her driveway for 4 cars. And because we noticed, you know, like, it's a private street, so we know the people that come down that street. It's the friend of the friend, it's the friend of the friend, and last year we noticed people we've never seen before coming down the street. So somebody said to somebody else, who said to somebody else, hey, so-and-so across the street is now renting our driveway for $20 or $25 it is. So you had big increase in foot traffic, so that's right on mine.
Does she have a parking lot permit?
I would say the answer is no.
I didn't hear what address.
No, we didn't, but,
Don't
Yeah.
worry, I'll email the town administrator with the address.
but I think,
So-
yeah, and I will also say, I am a huge fan of anything you can do from the phone as a
Oh,
mobile
yeah.
app. Newburyport downtown, I happily
Yep.
will pop in my $2 through my app. I'm also the person that will, when I go to Boston, I will spot hero a parking spot in advance, so I know where I'm parking, and it's cheaper than the day rates.
I will tell you, we're living down on Marlborough Street now, so your resident parking from 6 at night till 8 in the morning. At 8:01, there is a police officer on every one of those cross streets, Hereford, and they're alphabetical.
Yeah.
Every one. Barbara got a ticket at 8:02. You know, she's calling on the phone. I was out there at 8:04. I said, well, what time is the parking good till? 8 o'clock. I go, well, there you go, Barb. $45 for 4 minutes.
Can we
Oh my
adjourn the meeting?
goodness.
Yes, let's, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Adjourn.
Good, good.